Now we're going to talk about articulations using the articulation tool. We're also going to talk about the slur tool. We'll talk about the decrescendo and the crescendo tool, and we'll talk about the glissando tool. So first, in order to put my articulations in, I have to select the articulation tool. Many of you have been choosing the decrescendo tool and making a small decrescendo and saying that that was your articulation, but that is certainly not the articulation that we're looking for. So you choose the articulation tool. In this case, I'm just going to delete this one, and I'm going to delete this one so we can see the two that I'm going to put in. You click right on the notehead, gives you your selection. Staccato is what we're using, accents are what we're using. We might use some of this. You'll see this on page 2. You'll see this on page 2 as well, the fermata, the marcato. And this one was an accent. The accent is the arrow. Remember, it adds weight and then decays a little bit, so it gives it a little more power when you attack the note. For this one, we used staccato, which just means separated, so it's a little bit shorter than what a slur would be, certainly, or what some of these regular attacks would be. To insert a slur, you select the slur tool. I'll delete this one, and you double click on the note and hold, and you can drag it to wherever you want. Make sure that the note gets highlighted. In this case, we're only going to the C here, and it'll adjust itself. I can also pull it around, move it to wherever I want, make it look really weird, but that doesn't, this slur wouldn't really make sense to somebody that was reading it. So I'm going to undo it, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. There it is, my normal slur. Now to insert the decrescendo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the slur. Where it starts, I'm going to place it, double click and hold, and drag. Bring it to where it's supposed to be. Now notice my F is a little bit higher. I can click in the middle of this and use my arrow keys to move it up or move it down. So I'm going to move it up just a little bit so that it goes right to where my destination of forte is in this case. The same thing with a decrescendo. You start it where you want it to begin, not from the point in this case. You're starting it from the top down and drag to where it's going to be. For the glissando, works pretty much the same way. Where you want it to begin, I could want it to begin right here, and it'll pick the note and go up to it. But in this case, I chose the rest here. So actually, I'll click on that note and drag to where I'm wanting it to go. So I'm trying to have this gliss incorporated into this rest, and it'll go right into that. Real easy ways to use these. Just make sure that you define where you want them to go, especially with the slur and the crescendo.